No, I kind of like it.
No, put that hat back on.
I kind of like it. It shows my true self. Gray is in nowadays. Look at that.
It's not
Look
the
at that
gray
shine.
that's the problem.
Look at that shine.
It's not the gray that's the problem.
Strong. Mustache game is strong.
Oh look, we're both wearing blue. We're both matched. I pulled out my old colonial blue t-shirt or shirt. Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to show you how we turn this antique armoire or vintage armoire into a beautiful masterpiece.
Yes, it was wonderful. Blanca found a really cool stencil, and
I had the great idea of putting the stencil all through the front so it would look really cool.
No, I had the great idea of doing that. Blanca was like, no, let's just leave it plain. I was like, it's not Catalina's plain designs, it's Catalina's dainty designs.
Well, here's what happened. Usually Corey does a lot of the repairs for the projects, and I do like the design, the creative stuff. And so I kind of liked it when it was plain in the front and it had the decor on the sides. And so
it looked good, but it could be better.
But Corey thought it could be better, and so as per usual, we put it out for a vote. We sent it to our friends Stan and Jeff. Stan and Jeff, thank you. So they decided that they were going to side with Corey, and so they voted.
As they should.
They voted that we should do the stencil in the front as well, and so we did. I reluctantly did it, and actually I'm really happy that I did because it turned out great.
It did.
It is so beautiful.
It did.
So repairs, I think you talked about it in the video. So
repairs, the people cut out the back of it. You'll see that. I added some shelves in there. They're removable. They're not adjustable, but they do come out, so I guess that's a plus.
It's a plus because since it's a bulky item, it's difficult to transport, so the fact that you don't have that added weight, it's a really cool feature, so you can take the shelves out and actually move it into your house without struggling and dropping it and breaking it. So that was a cool feature. And I think something you didn't mention on the repair portion is that when the people cut out a hole in the back of that, they compromised the structure of the entire armoire, so Corey had to redo that because it was kind of wonky.
I just made it into one solid piece. I don't have the capability of doing dado joints or anything like that right now. Just yet. So I had to adjust some things, and I made it work.
It worked. It came out so beautiful, so we wanted to show you guys how we did it. I don't think we showed a lot of the first steps.
No, I didn't record any of me putting the shelves in because it was just like 4 nails in each shelf, and then
and you've seen some of the stuff before on previous projects, so we try to make it a little bit more interesting for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, let's jump right into it.
Hi everyone, it's just me right now. We really wanted to show you what we're working on currently. Most of the video you're going to be watching is going to be Blanca decorating this bad boy. I just wanted to show you kind of what we've done. Normally I'll show you the sanding and the refinishing process that I do, but I decided to skip all that. I just kind of want to catch you up on what's been done so far. As you can see, we got this big, beautiful armoire. I don't remember what we bought this for, but it was a really good price. People that we bought it from, they had it in the garage, and they kind of turned their garage into a bar area. And so they had their TV mounted in this. But it was an old tube TV, so in order to get it to fit, they actually cut the back out. I've already repaired it, but I'll show you the picture of what it looked like before I repaired it. They cut the back out so the rear of the TV would stick out through the back so it would sit flush in here. But yeah, here we go, just open it up. It's got a mirror right here. I covered that up because I was doing some spraying in there. And I mean, I could scrape it off with a razor blade if I wanted to, but it's just less work on me in the end if I cover it and I don't have to scrape all that paint or whatever I get on there. This is just regular blue painter's tape. They had shelves built in here from the previous owners, the ones that put the TV in there. I didn't really like the way they were built. We wanted more flexibility, so I went ahead and just rigged up some shelves in here. and she also didn't want it to be that heavy. So we made it to where the shelves are actually removable. So you can remove all the shelves, and it's kind of lighter. You can, what you see in here, I've already made the shelves. It was raw wood. I'm still going to shellac it, but I went ahead and sprayed it with a coat of black paint. And I patched up all my nail holes in there, so hopefully it'll be one cohesive piece when it's all said and done, aside from the shelf being able to be removed. We can fix that later. This is it. As you can see, I'm about 6'1", depending on the time of day. So this is a pretty tall armoire. That's still a weird word. A dresser, chest, box, tall box. No say. But this is it. It had some awful handles on it. Went ahead and took those off, and we'll go on to a further detailed inspection. If you look right here, you can see that this is the structure of the shelf. It's actually just a 1x2 that I have nailed together, and then I nailed it to the side so that way the shelf can sit right on the top of it. And this white stuff you see here is actually wood putty. The nails I originally used were a tad bit too long, and so they ended up blowing out the wood. And so I had to pull all those out. And since this is going to be the inside piece that everybody sees, I wanted to fill it in and try and make it look as solid of a piece. And you can see I also painted it black. Still going to shellac everything, but I painted it black so I wouldn't have to use so much shellac. The black seals in the raw wood color, and then when I shellac over that, it'll be a really good finish, so that way any of the smells or the yellowness of the pine will not bleed through. As you can see, there's nothing special, just plain Jane shelves. You see all my patches I did in there. Almost every nail I plugged in there blew out the other side. I almost forgot to tell you that I installed some new hardware so these doors wouldn't swing open. The things it had on there looked like it was original. It was so loose that the door would just open up randomly. It seems as though even our sons wanted a piece of the action.
Alright guys, so for this piece we are actually going to do a stencil pattern throughout the whole thing. I have my pattern here, and so this is going to go throughout the entire thing. This one I got from Hobby Lobby actually. This is the stencil that I got. It's called Farmhouse Floral Scroll, and the company that makes it is Stencil Ease. So this one was $12.99. If you have a coupon, you can usually get 40% on one item. And so that's what I got, and that's what we're working with. I've already done the other side, but I did it with a stenciling brush, and it took me forever because I was stamping the little brush an entire stencil. So for this section, I'm gonna do it with a high density foam roller, and hopefully that makes it go a lot faster. Let's get started. Alright guys, so to get started with the stencil, I went ahead and applied it, and for that I used Easy Tack Krylon. It's a spray adhesive. I've never tried it before. Actually, we're kind of scared because I tried a different one, and then I tested it on the back of this piece to see if it would leave any residue, and it did on the first try, but then once it had been used, it was just fine. So what I did is I sprayed it, and then I went ahead and dabbed the excess with a little rag so it wouldn't be too tacky, and hopefully it won't leave any residue on the piece. We're about to find out, so if it doesn't work, we're just gonna have to redo the entire thing, which we don't want to do, but oh well. So for this, I'm gonna use a different shade of black, and I'm gonna pour it into my little plastic dispenser, and the shade I'm using is Dixie Belle Midnight Sky. I'm using this black dispenser. This came as a kit, and it is a high density foam roller that comes with the roller, the foam, and then the little tray to pour the paint on. I already dampened this brush earlier just a little bit so it doesn't absorb a lot of the paint. You don't want it to be wet because if it's too juicy, it's gonna seep through your stencil, and you don't want that. I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of my paint.
Good job, babe. You earned a lifesaver.
Ooh, gummy. Just one?
Oh, you still got a long way to go.
Oh. Okay, so one last thing is you can see this little white dot here. Stencils that are meant for a pattern usually have some markings so that when you take it off and align it to continue your pattern, you have a continuous pattern. And because this is black and these markers are really tiny, I went ahead and marked them with a different color, a contrasting color, so I can actually see them. On the other side, I was marking them with the same color and I could not find them to save my life. Now, the moment of truth. I'm scared. Ta-da! This is the wax that I had used to give it this color. I also used some rub and buff on top of it because this one has a little bit more of a bronzy color. I don't know if you can tell the difference between the two. So this one has a little bit more orange, more warm tones. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the Redesigned by Prima, and this is the Galaxy, which is their black wax. And you don't need much of this. I'm just going to grab a little bit of it and then rub it everywhere. This is gonna wipe off some of the gold excess, and to do that, we'll just grab a little lint-free rag and kind of buff it in some of the pieces. It's essentially taking off some of the gold when you use white clear wax as an eraser, for example. It's the same thing, except I'm using black wax. We forgot to record some of this, but I wanted to show you guys after we took the tape off here. This was a little too stark, and don't look at my hands, but this was a little too stark, so to give it a little bit of color, we wiped it off, kind of did some watered down paint, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I'm going to water it quite a bit. And this is just for a little wash of color. So essentially you just brush it on to give it this effect, like the aged look. And then I'm gonna wipe off the excess almost immediately and just let it sink into the crevices where it would have naturally stayed if we had cleaned it. I want the wood color to come through, so I'm gonna wipe this really well. I want to show you guys, I've done already my little markings, if you can see there, and there. I'm sorry, my finger is blurry. I've done them all the way to the top, right there and right there, and that's gonna help me so that I don't have to wait for my pattern to dry, and I can move all the way to the top while one dries and skip around, but I already have a point of reference to mark or to start my stencil. So I'm gonna bring y'all back down here. We are almost there. I think I've spent the past 6 hours stenciling the front of this armoire because Corey had the genius idea that it would look better if the whole thing was stenciled. Since I'm the detail worker out of the two of us, I ended up doing this the entire day. One of the last few steps that I want to do is I need to sand some of it because it's a stencil. It has some edges that are a little too harsh for my liking. So I need to lightly sand it just to knock off some of that excess. And then the last step is that I need to cover my stencil markers. I don't know if you guys remember, I was doing those white ones, those white spots. That one and that one, yep. I need to cover them. But the reason why I'm sanding first is because since those came from the stencil as well, they're gonna have some height. So I'm gonna sand it first, and when they don't have any height left, I'm gonna go ahead and paint them with the same color I used for the stencil, so they'll kind of blend in with the design. So really light, no pressure, and you wanna stick with short strokes in this, guys, so that you can control the pressure that you're putting on there. And then I'm just gonna show you real quick. I like to wipe it down so I don't keep panicking about how it looks, if I messed it up or not. And then that's it. I'll do the same thing to the whole piece, and then we'll talk later. It's hot outside. Alright guys, well we hope you enjoyed the video. If you have questions, or even if you just want to comment, it helps us out, you know.
Yeah.
With the algorithm.
What did you like? What didn't you like?
Yeah.
We could change it on the next one. We promise we're here to please you, so just tell us what you want us to do and we'll do anything. If you want us to paint it naked, I'll do that. If you want us to hold the cat while we paint it, I won't be naked with that because they have sharp claws, but I could still hold the cat.
There will not be naked videos, but there could be cat videos. That's a possibility. You guys know we love our kitties. And so, yeah, let us know what you guys want to see. If we skipped something that you wanted to know, if you have any questions, please comment below and we'll be happy to answer. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, boy.
Ooh, I look nice and tan. Look at that. I was starting to develop that farmer's tan that Corey has. Like here, where your sleeves cover it. So I've been making an effort to wear more tank tops. Which I'll think is good, right? Got that glow.
It goes like this.